Check the time and adjust your dial. It's time for the GZ Chop Shop Podcast, the best podcast by gamers for gamers. Each week, we give you the rundown of all the happenings in the gaming world, news updates, reviews, and much more. We do all the research so you don't have to. And if you still want more after the show, we got you covered. Check out our website at thegzchopshop.com for all of our latest content. Now keep your ears locked because it's time for the GZ Chop Shop. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GZ Chop Shop. As always, we are happy to be here and have an amazing episode lined up for all of you wonderful people this week. So without further ado, let's get into the breakdown of what we are covering today. Warners, what do we got?
Some pretty fun topics. First is the very much anticipated Amazon TVs coming over the next couple of months, and Amazon Luna coming to Fire tablets and Chromebooks here between October and November. We're going to go over Dreamcast and Xbox prototypes and how that might affect mainstream gaming and their servers and tiers. And of course, we're going to jump into some Carah's Corner of Weird today. We always enjoy that. It's always a lot of fun. You never know what you're going to get. But before we start
they never know what they're going to get.
We never know what we're going to get. But before we hit on these topics, I think we all just kind of wanted to talk about Phasmophobia's new update. We all played it yesterday. I say new update. They've had a series of updates over the past month or so. But comparing what Phasmophobia is now, as of when we played it last night, to when it first came out, what do you guys think?
Insane difference.
Yeah.
There's
drastic.
so much that has just gotten better. And really, it's really gotten better within the last 3 months. I feel like they really put a lot of work into it recently.
What changes do you feel the ghosts have made since the beginning?
They don't play.
They're so much more aggressive now.
Yeah.
I think I survived one game last night?
If you survived one
out
game,
of 5?
The game, it's a game for us, but for the ghosts, it's not a game. Needless to say.
No.
I think me and Itachi, were you with us, Carah? The time we played before last night, I think a week or so ago, and all of us died on one match. It was a whole team wipe.
Yep, I was there.
For those of you that play Phasmophobia, maybe you haven't played in a little while. When this game first came out, the ghosts hunted for approximately a minute. They moved kind of slow. There wasn't a lot of AI involved. So as long as you just kind of hid in a corner or in a closet and you didn't make any sound, you were pretty much good. Finding the ghosts relatively easy. It was pretty quick and easy, even on professional, for the most part, to gather your evidence within about 10 minutes max and find the ghost. And usually it was a lot faster than that. Now, you're lucky on professional. You're lucky to finish getting all evidence without at least one death.
You're lucky to get your first piece of evidence without your first death.
How many games did we have that we had 2 of us were dead because there was 4 of us. 2 of us were dead and one of us were like, all right, do we have any evidence?
Anything. And it was
there was a few games like that. And it was, I had to give pep talks, I think, a couple times. I was like, okay, guys, it's just you and me left. Me and Itachi.
You pep talked Yuli. And I tried to stop your pep talk.
I died.
Yeah. I tried to stop the pep talk. What was the outcome of that? I think Yuli gave up.
Yeah. You guys stood outside the door. So here's the thing, guys. Carah had died. The ghosts always went for Carah first. We don't know why.
Always.
But they always went for Carah first. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm going to be next. Somehow I survived. I died 1 time that entire night. Surprised the heck out of me. But then when I died and it was me and Carah, we watched Nurse and Yuli stand outside the farm cabin for at least a solid 3 minutes, just talking about what they should do.
I think we both had our journals out and we were like, okay, here's the plan. If anything visual was missing from that, it was us with an actual notepad and pen drawing out our plan of attack, which failed. It failed miserably.
Yeah, because you went in for they talked for about 3 minutes outside the house and went in for less than a minute and then came out and was like, all right, well, we're going to go with this. And it was just like, what was the 3 minute conversation for?
I think outside how aggressive these ghosts are now, there's 16 now, I think. I think we started with 8 or 10.
Yeah, they've made graphical improvements too. To make the ghosts more visible and intimidating.
Yeah, so these ghosts are more aggressive. They make more eerie sounds, more noises. There's more paranormal.
The
crying and noises. Creepy stuff.
I hate not like that.
I hate it.
Last night, one of those ghosts started. None of us expected this, and it started crying. And Carah was in the house by herself.
It got me 3 times. Okay, I was hunted 3 times by this crying ghost within the span of 7 minutes. And each hunt was well over a minute long, and I somehow survived. Somehow.
I remember she came out like, no. She just went in the last one. I was like, no. There.
I was like, nope, I'm done. Nope, I'm not doing it. But then I think Yuli was like, all right, come on, take a pill. Let's go back in. I was just like, okay.
And then she died. Back in.
Well, definitely another one of the biggest changes I noticed was the AI. You know, before there was only, I think, a couple ghosts that you could kind of make some noise and they'd probably find you. But now, if you breathe in your mic wrong,
I quite literally sat for the entire times that I was hunted, covering my face completely so that I would not make any noise, because I was like, nope, because the instant I was like, begging my dogs didn't bark because I have been killed by people talking in the background.
Logan got you killed.
Logan got you killed.
And I have the software that cancels out the background noise. And so the fact that it still picked up the slightest amount of noise and it still found me is insane.
You know what hears you too, because it changes direction immediately.
Because that ghost was like, what's that? I hear you.
It almost smells you. Let's see. They react to the temperatures.
Yep.
They react more appropriately to what we're doing and how many people are in the rooms.
They don't kill the black guy right away.
They don't. They didn't kill you right away. That's
no. They just killed me.
They went for Carah. They went for Carah. I think we played 7 games last night.
Every single one.
Every single game, she got singled out.
She survived one.
One of the biggest things I noticed was a lot of times before, for the most part, the ghosts would, where you found them and where you found the activity is pretty much where you're going to get all your evidence. Now, we found this out the hard way last night. We pinpointed the ghost, or we thought we did. It apparated twice in the bathroom. So we're like, okay, it's definitely here. We sat up in there. This chick came out of the kitchen and murked Carah in the bathroom. She came from the kitchen into the bathroom to kill Carah. Like it was making a point.
It was saying, this is the kill room. And I know you guys are dumb enough to think I'm in here. So here you go. Deliver yourselves to me on a silver platter.
That ghost busted out some anime jitsu on us last night.
It was great. It was great. And then on top of that, for me, I know this is probably a minor thing, but honestly, all the gadgets, how much nicer they look now.
Oh, they look so much better.
That's a huge, I'm a very, very much visual aesthetic. I want it to look nice. And now they look so nice.
And everything is relevant now. All the gadgets are relevant. There was a time in the beginning where even the thermometer was completely pointless, but because the ghosts can move around and they can be anywhere, even the thermometer is still valid because not every ghost is going to give you freezing temps, but some of them still work in colder temperatures. So, you know, even the thermometer, or if you can't pinpoint, you can use the microphone.
And you put a really good point out yesterday when we were playing that they made the normal flashlights more useful now because of the strong flashlights. If you are walking towards somebody and you're shining your flashlight, you're blinding them.
You're blinding.
Oh yeah, those farmhouses are dusty.
Them.
Yeah.
And so like even last night, Itachi was using the normal flashlights just because they work now more than they did before.
And the video cameras, I appreciate it because the normal flashlights work way better with the video cameras to give you that, you know, like walking around, you can find a ghost orb. I think they went through the process of eliminating the need for anyone to be in the van unnecessarily.
Yes.
So everyone can technically have a job to do. One person could walk around with the video camera, another person could walk around with the thermometer, another person. There's always something for someone to do. And that's how you find out which of your friends are really scared.
And then on top of that, all the information that you need is in the journal now.
Yes.
Everything. The journal looks great. And I opened it.
Carah was in love.
Chef's kiss.
She did. She was the first to make comments on it, and it looked really. The handwriting was better than mine.
Yeah,
it was amazing, and you know, it looked like to me like somebody actually wrote that and then translated it to a digital version,
scripted.
So it's like one of the developers' handwritings. That's what it looked like to me. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but I knew this, and I was trying to tell y'all yesterday because I think it might have been Yuli. Someone kept hitting the walkie-talkie button, and it doesn't matter if I'm the one hitting it or if someone else is hitting it and it's coming in through mine. That static noise it makes attracts the ghost. So somebody kept spamming it, and I'm in the closet. I'm like, how do I say shut up? Shut up.
That was Julie.
I was about to say, I was in Discord, Julie. So
all I heard was a ghost down the hallway. I'm just like, oh God, I'm gonna die.
Yep.
That was Julie.
But bravo, Kinetic Games.
Really great improvement.
Guys, not only did you come out with a great game this time last year, but you have like so significantly improved the playability of that game.
Ahead of Halloween too. All I can say is, guys, can you please check my audio issue? I would love to be able to talk in the game. That's all. That's my only gripe.
I'm very happy to say that I'm not getting the Christmas lights anymore either.
Oh yeah, you had the disco lights for a while.
I had the party bus for a while, where all I would see is like these RGB lights all over the bus. It was great. I thought it was great. Yeah, but I know it wasn't supposed to be like that.
Yeah, you're when you were streaming that game, Carah, it looked like you know how yesterday we went in and it was like it almost looked like a New Year's Eve party. It was an actual party. A club and it was fun.
Yeah.
Carah had that ahead of time.
Looked like that without the music for a while.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
They probably took the idea. It was
only the bus. It was only the bus too. Like it wouldn't be in the house. It wouldn't be in the lobby. It was always just the bus.
So yeah,
I enjoy it.
I think the only complaint is Itachi's continued audio issue, where no matter what he does, his mic doesn't pick up. And I really thought he was going to rage yesterday. I mean, this man twice over the past week tried to play the game, and he ended up having to go into Discord where we muted ourselves. But I think that's the only complaint. And you're not the only one, from what I understand. The reading some of the reviews and stuff that continues to kind of be an issue with some people. But otherwise,
otherwise it's a great game.
Kinetic Games.
I would love to see if they're going to do anything special for Halloween.
I'm sure something over the next couple of weeks is going to come out.
I think that's going to be really cool because that's a great game to play for Halloween.
Yeah, I would love to see. I wouldn't doubt that they'd probably do this in the future, where the scene where they kill you, if that changes up sometimes, if it stops being the same, it just wraps its fingers around your head.
I would like that to change. That would be nice to get a different kill scene.
Imagine a pacify situation where sometimes it just creeps around to the front of you,
more
crying
like a
to Carah and then saying, "I got you."
What if they did it? I mean, it obviously they can't do the same thing, but like a DBD Mori.
Oof.
That would be cool.
It breaks your neck and throws you down the stairs.
Your whole team is
Tell me
just...
that wouldn't be cool. Tell me that would not be cool.
Why do I feel like you'll be the first one it gets tested on?
I think they should just up the scares with a dual ghost hunt.
That's one thing I heard for a while, that you could get hunted fairly quickly back to back. And that has been happening. We saw that a couple times yesterday.
No, I think he means like
two
ghosts hunting at once.
Especially for those bigger map locations, like the main event, to lure people back in. Because like we kept skipping the big maps. And what would be a good thing to do for Halloween is, hey, big money reward, but it's 2 ghosts.
Like
double the money.
Challenges.
Yeah.
Kind
of like add some additional more difficult challenges.
Hey, Phasmophobia. You heard it here first.
Just saying.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Phasmo, we want in.
We want in
Phasmo. We love you. Kinetic Games. We love you guys.
If we get this episode to 10,000 downloads, I'll play it in VR live on Halloween. So
I don't have VR. I'll say we'll join you.
There's your goals. Phasmo, you heard it. Listeners, you heard it. Mark it down. 10,000 downloads for this episode. You got like a month. Get us to 10,000. You can do it.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. I will play.
Tell your friends. Tell your family, your wife, your husband. Tell everybody.
Tell your
kids, their friends. Come on. You know the people.
Tell the neighbor down the street. Yeah.
Teachers, the kids are back in school.
And it was already scary non-VR. So.
Yeah, I haven't played VR, so I
neither.
Eventually I'll check. Eventually I'll get VR and check it out. So Amazon, their first TVs are shipping out, I think at the end of October, from what I understand, with microphones attached to them. And they're going to obviously connect to any and all products in the house that you want to connect them to. Mm-hmm. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't like it.
Why does everybody need to make a TV?
What she said.
that's her first.
Why? Honestly.
Why? I agree. There's enough TVs out there.
We have too many brands, like, and they're all just so expensive. It's like, why?
It's a consumer world. I don't like it any more than you do, but
Carah, you said it best. World. You said it best with one word. Shiny.
Yeah.
Shiny.
Exactly. My go-to shiny. I get it, but like.
Now, I didn't see anything about
needs to make a TV.
Not everyone needs to make a TV. But I'm pretty sure if Tesla decided to make TVs, that there's no reason for them to. That's not something that they would pursue. That's not their,
Well, congratulations, you've given them the idea now.
But hey,
good job.
It seems like Elon and Jeff Bezos got a lot of feuding going on. So who knows? We live in a world with there's so much tech in our homes now. There's so much tech around us. Everything has a mic. Everything has a webcam. And, there is a fine line between paranoia and just looking at like reality and the facts. I do have an Alexa. However, when I'm not using my Alexa, I unplug it. I stop there. Like I know I got my phone and Siri, but that's kind of the end. Like I don't have a bunch of items around my house that I can talk to. And it makes me feel uncomfortable to have everything in my house with mics and cameras.
Because that there is a way for them to listen. I mean, like how can you be talking about something, not even like using Siri or anything or looking it up on your phone, but I can be talking about something to somebody and I'll get Facebook ads for whatever I was talking about.
We were talking about that not too long ago.
Like
most people can make that claim. It's common. Like
I have seen it before. Like it has happened to me.
It's unnerving.
It is. No,
I don't like it.
It's almost like one of those. It's like a situation where people have acknowledged it. If they weren't acknowledging, they wouldn't be talking about it on social media or with their friends or at work. People talk about this stuff. but they, for the most part, we brush it off and we make jokes about it. And we see memes like guy in the background is Facebook or Instagram, and the guy, in the front is you talking about something. So it's something that gets acknowledged by everybody, even if it's just as a joke, but it's reality, and it's a little scary, and it's something that I feel nobody would acknowledge in a serious way or be concerned about. This, oversaturation of mics and cameras on every single thing until we start seeing problems from it. Especially when it comes from, our rights as civilians and people of this country and the government. So, as much as I love tech, you guys know I love technology so much. I'm a very techie person. But this kind of stuff it bothers me. And it makes me worried about just the future of where will we draw that line in technology? Elon Musk has he brought up the artificial robots that he's working on, and they're cool. I don't think
there will be a line.
But you've got the Matrix 4 coming out, and
you're like, okay, you guys have obviously forgotten what we tried to tell you. So here's a reminder. Yeah.
So as much as I love all this stuff, it's just like, oh my God, where's the line?
Well, I'm gonna say this. You said we were gonna, maybe eventually have a problem. I'm saying the problem is already here. We already have a problem. The thing is, it's too late to do anything about it. We're actually at that point where that's far gone, because they have brought us convenience. They have brought us accessibility. And the trade-off for that is our privacy. It's an unspoken thing. We will give you this accessibility that we know you want. You won't live without it once you have it. But the price that you're going to have to pay, unknowingly or knowingly, we don't care, is your privacy. You no longer have a right to keep secrets. And a catalyst that accelerated this process, if you think about it, pre-2001, technology was growing at a pretty simple pace.
Trying to get my memory to go back that far. I'm getting older.
Well, I will. Here you go. To hit a little realism, 9/11 is a catalyst on why technology accelerated so fast. Because they admitted then they didn't have the means to keep track of things. They didn't have a means to, know what was going on, because they were concerned about civilian privacy. There were not microphones in every house. There weren't cameras everywhere. There was no way to justify spying on random families because they were of a different ethnicity. There was no means for that. So they had to come up with ways to legally do this while achieving their goal and get us to say, cool. So they accelerated their, technological developments.
Right.
There's now a rush for it.
It's common knowledge that the NSA exploded after, 9/11. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Do you guys, Itachi, do you have a ton of techie stuff in your house with mics and webcams and stuff?
I'm sitting in front of it now.
Well, outside that way, you've had webcams and stuff for a while. You have anything new, fresh, popular?
I try not to get too many new things. We have 3 Amazon devices in the house.
3?
Yeah.
Like all Alexa?
Mm-hmm. I have one. My mom has one, and then there's one in the living room. We have smart lights that she can control, and we have a smart TV. But in terms of beyond that, like temperature or house control or any of that, I've kept things pretty basic and limited. They're fascinating, but I'm like, I don't want things controlling the house.
And they are fascinating, and they are cool. What do you use your Alexa for? The one that's for you?
YouTube.
like to play YouTube audio from the Alexa?
So it's the show, so I can actually see. So like when I'm going to sleep or I can't sleep, I'll have her play some YouTube. If I'm, and this is kind of weird, I like to learn things as I'm dozing off because it's like the last thing I'm thinking of. So usually I retain it better. So like for tutorials, like usually anything for the show or something I can't figure out, I have her like reading stuff or, playing a video for me in the background at night or music. But I don't really use her to do much else. I'm like so lazy. I'll have her turn on the light.
Yeah, I have the smart lights, but it's the GE app I have with their light system. So it's through their app, but still through my smartphone. And I do have an Alexa, but I've never used it for anything other than music. I don't really know why. I think once I was like, "What's the weather?" and it got creepy.
Yeah, when you first get it,
she knew too much.
Yeah, when you first get one, you think you're going to do all these amazing things with it. You're going to do this, and she's going to do that, and then you're going to do this, and then like after a week, you kind of forget you have it until you're like, "Oh, it's dark in here. Turn on the light," and then that's it. And then I wondered too. I'm like, "What did I use this for again?"
Well, Alexa's getting creepy, man. It's like, Alexa, what's the weather? She gives me the weather. It's 70 degrees today. Would you like to know the traffic on your way to work? Sure. What's the traffic? And then she gives me the traffic. It's light traffic. You're like, all right, cool. Would you like to know your tarot card reading for the day? Like, would you like to know? Like, just like, you're like the questions you get asked.
Would you like to know what your ex is doing right now? What?
Your social security card got used 14 times last week. Just all kinds of shit. Carah, do you have any, besides your phone, do you have any smart devices?
Our Apple Watches.
Apple Watches.
So that's about it.
Yeah,
we don't have any Alexa. We don't have, we definitely don't have any smart lights here.
Can you imagine if you smoke weed and, where you're at, illegal, you're not one of the states where it's like legalized, and you're smoking weed and out of nowhere, Alexa goes, that is illegal in this state. You just sit there.
That would be insane.
She can smell you. She knows.
No.
It's getting too real.
But okay, so Amazon wants to make their own TVs. Now, are they actually making them, or are they saying they're Amazon TVs? Because I was reading an article that I guess the manufacturer that's assisting with them, they have their own TV brand. I think it was TGL, I believe it is the
but that's as much as I know. From the article itself, I couldn't gather enough information to say whether or not this was an Amazon specific brand or if they were simply just putting their name on some like another television.
So it says
to promote them.
This is a major expansion from the company's Fire TV Edition collaborations, where its popular streaming software comes preloaded on set manufactured by other TV makers. But with its new Omni and 4 series, Amazon is describing these as Amazon-built TVs.
I thought Fire was Amazon.
Yeah, but It was like a third-party attachment mostly.
Oh, so now it's becoming the TV, basically. Is that okay? That clears that up.
And I want to correct myself. It's TCL, not TGO. It's TCL because they recently introduced the new Google TVs. So that's why I was wondering.
Oh, Google's coming out with TVs as well.
Yep.
They're not out yet. I guess I haven't heard about these. I think I remember vaguely hearing about it a while back.
That just goes to say what Carah said. So many TVs. Google TV, Amazon has TV, Sony. Sony and
I don't even know. I got Vizio.
Sony, but Sony's been around for a while. But you know, as these new ones come out, someone else is going under, and it sucks because we're gonna start wondering, where did so and so go? And you're like, oh, they went out. They don't make TVs anymore.
It makes you think about the whole Epic and Apple legal battle that we talked about last week, where the judge came down and said, I don't see a monopoly here. Success is not illegal.
Success is not illegal. And you know what? Amazon heard that and said, you're right.
You're right. Success is not illegal. Everybody else, I'm buying you out.
I'm buying you out.
We're putting you under. So yeah, exciting TV stuff, I guess.
I sorry to interrupt. What I will say, so I reread it, the Omni, which is the more expensive one. What I do kind of think would be cool is it does the picture in picture. So like you can, if you have the Ring doorbell, you can look at the Ring while you're watching a movie or watching whatever you're watching. It's a picture in picture. I mean, yeah, they don't need more TVs, but I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, can I just ask a question?
It's on the television?
Yeah, it pops up on the TV. So like she was saying,
who's at your door shows up on your TV.
So they ring your doorbell, you tell your TV, check the front door camera, it'll pop up. So you don't have to get up to check the door. This is
some Rick and Morty shit right here.
Can we just be honest
here? Go into defense mode.
You can ask, what should I watch? Play something from Netflix.
I don't want to do that because see, here's the thing that's going to scare me, right? I watch things different than probably my family. Can you imagine the family TV settings are going to have to be super specific.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be sitting down and be like, because here's the other thing. This is another thing that goes into the scare factor. Voice recognition. That means everything's going to be sampling your voice, recognizing your voice. Hackers are smart. Now they're using your voice for authentication elsewhere. That's a whole nother topic we can get into at another time. My whole thing is going to be, say, for instance, they don't have voice recognition. Or say, for instance, there's twins and maybe your twin wanted to watch some late night special kind of television. And then you come in and you say, hey, make me some recommendations. And voila.
It takes Nielsen, the whole Nielsen TV rating situation to a new level. And
they'll get more accurate ratings, that's for sure.
Right. And it's... it's like we're going to get to a point in a few years from now, if the Google televisions can do all this, where we have TVs that we don't have to think about what we want to do. We just kind of delegate it in a way to our technology.
Well, see, I don't like, this is scary.
We're already getting that way.
More nervous.
According to the website, you can watch TikTok on the new TV.
I don't know. No. This is
There's no reason for my phone.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm calling this 50 years from now. They're going to start talking about the world population is drastically decreasing, and we don't know why. I'm going to tell you why. You let Elon Musk make those AIs. Then someone said, let's put these AI chips in sex bots. Then all the people said, why get married when I can just marry a bot? I have kids.
Someone's going to be banging a realistic sex bot, hear a doorbell ring, look up at their TV doggy style. And who's at my door? Oh, that ruined my mood. It's that gruffy looking male guy again.
No, it's gonna be the robot pizza delivery.
The robot pizza. It's gonna be Amazon's little bot dropping off your 6 o'clock DoorDash. Oh, dude, we're heading to some dark times.
You don't have to worry about ruining the bot's mood. So hang on, I'll be right back. I gotta check this.
Do you want me to maintain this position?
Oh my.
Atachi, you need a sound on your soundboard that goes, you heard it here first.
You heard it. You know what? I'm going to make that this week. You heard it here first.
And don't be fooled, people. These AI sex bots, the things that have, been coming out,
Japan's been working on it for years.
Yeah, they've been working on it for years. They got some for chicks too, so y'all aren't out.
Yeah, they're probably thinking y'all thinking you might be left out. No. You are not left out. Trust me, you are not left out.
It gets up and takes the trash out. Carah's like, "Hey, Logan, is this cheating?"
This is what I'm thinking is happening because what market are they catering to with all these features? Like, how big is an average person's house that you need that much technology? Like, come on now. Unless you live in a house that's like 10 bedrooms, then okay, that makes sense because you obviously make a lot of money. But most of this is being sold to your average American who has like if at most, a 3-story house. With like,
everyone made fun of iRobot and how kind of cheesy it was.
Yeah, but it's happening. It's literally happening. I am making fun of the movie. I saw that movie and I was taking a lesson from it.
Someone's gonna be tapping some robot ass, and then it's gonna be one more thing, and then it's gonna get up and whoop your ass.
So you know what, guys, we're going ahead. GZ condoms in about 15 years.
Oh my God.
Extra strength.
Jesus Christ.
Atachi, what did you say about the TCL?
That they made their own TVs, and if they were Amazon was just slapping their name on it.
TCL is manufacturing one or both of the TV lineups for Amazon.
There you go. There you go.
So are companies like TLC and
TLC?
TCL.
TCL.
He went back to the 90s.
I went back to the 90s. Companies like TCL and LG, are they the ones that like they're making these televisions, and then Amazon and Google are
they're just slapping their name on
it,
adding maybe a couple of tech parts to it.
Yep.
Yeah, they're manufacturing it. The only difference they aren't TCL's latest and greatest panels, because Amazon Fire TVs lack HDMI 2.1 features like 4K at 120 hertz.
And here's the thing, it's like now you got to sit there and know what you want in a television, because this television does this and has all this, but doesn't have this. But this television has that one feature and all this, but doesn't have that. But this television has.
Where did we go wrong since the 80s? Because in the 80s, every sci-fi movie showed that we all firmly believed by this time we'd have flying cars and so many cool things. And now we have sex robots and televisions that watch you and watch the doorman and then order groceries for you.
I'm telling you, 50 years from now, your robotic wife or husband will be answering the door for you.
You need to know what you want, because I mean, for that price, did you guys look at the prices?
They're like $600 and up.
It sounds about
for the Omni. For the Omni, the biggest one, the 75-inch is $1,100, and the 43-inch is $409.
Is that 4K?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's a 4K. They really rip people off. You know, on the box in the front, they'll promote HDR, but if you don't look in the back and see in the specs HDR10, it doesn't actually have HDR.
Oh,
if the specs don't say HDR10, they are lying to you.
Take that, note that, clip that.
A
lot of people get tricked by the settings too, that they see in the store, and they expect that out of the box. They don't realize that the store lighting is intentionally played out that way to make the TVs do that. There's those specific settings. If you don't know what those specific settings are, your TV will never look that way.
I look at two things if I look for a television. First, I look at if I just like how it looks, not necessarily the screen that they're trying to sell me, like how
the
it
aesthetics.
looks.
You don't want an ugly
the aesthetics,
TV.
like how does it look? And two, okay, what are the specs? And I read the spec section. And I've had people come up to me like, what are you doing? And because I'm not, just staring at the big front giant part of the box and going, oh, it says this. Like the specs legally have to be the specs. What they put in front of the box and try to highlight and say it has legally don't have to be what the specs truly are. At least I know this with the HDR. Because that has been a big issue over the past couple of years. And I forget why they legally can get away with it. But
because their brand as a whole.
So if I ever got to buy a new TV, I'm going to Warner's to make sure that it's good. Got it.
She's going to take a picture, send it to Warner's.
Like, Warner's.
Well, I will say this. If your television truly has HDR10, then one, your PlayStation, Xbox doesn't matter. Your PlayStation actually can be utilized with some of the games that support HDR10, and it actually does look a lot better. It looks insane.
I can vouch for this.
And just watching movies and shows and even anime and stuff looks insanely better most of the time. Like some older animes that are in 480 and there's no helping it. It kind of hurts that. But TV's people.
I like how TV's led to the future of sex robots. Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen.
Chop Shop. Connecting everything.
You heard it here first.
Amazon Luna, that came out about a year ago. It's still in its...
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I don't know what that is.
See?
So I don't fully understand it myself. I haven't jumped into it. My understanding, I think Itachi has much better understanding of this than I do.
Is it like a streaming platform for games?
Yes.
Okay.
It's their version of Google Stadia, but is still in early access, mainly because Google Stadia flopped and they saw it and then they were like, ooh, we're not ready yet. So we're just going to stay in early access until we can do better. And then they went quiet for a whole year because we actually, if you go on our YouTube channel, listeners, literally the first video that plays is our trailer. We were discussing in that episode, Warner's was there and Byrne was there. We talked about Luna and how we didn't think it was going to do pretty much anything soon. And lo and behold, it took them a whole year. And now they're kind of doing something. They're like, hey, we're offering some stuff at a lower price and you get to play some select games. My whole issue with this is I will always be an adamant person on I hate the idea of not being able to own a game. I don't like the monthly rental for games. Or, you decide to stop paying, you don't have access to this game anymore. And the fact that the library could constantly change, what if you pay, but you're a busy person, they have one of your favorite games, but you miss it that month and then it's no longer available until like 2-3 years from now. Like, I don't know. I've never liked the cloud concept of gaming. And now, Luna is trying to proceed forward with their device.
Well, you're not alone. Most age groups, studies are showing that most age groups feel the same way you feel, that you want to own a game.
Yeah. I want to be able to just sit down anytime and play that game. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm on a schedule, because we already live our lives on a schedule. To then feel like my recreation has to be on a schedule. No.
No, that makes sense. I mean, like, I have like the Xbox Game Pass, but it's mainly because I get the option of all those games and the live membership with it. So that's the reason I have that one. But if it was anything else, I wouldn't.
Xbox and PlayStation made a smart move, allowing us to have passes to download old games and current games because it's still within the compounds of that console. Mm-hmm. And you get something a little different each month. It's not strictly streaming from a source that nobody's really comfortable with yet. Nobody is familiar with, something that hasn't been around since, the early 90s to mid, around 2000. So
I will say the American market has probably successfully defeated any chance of an arcade coming back. Because if you think about it, when you go to the arcade, your quarter paid for what? Your ability to pay to play that game for as long as you could stay alive. The concept is the same, just the execution is different. Now it's a monthly subscription to play that game as long as it's available.
Yeah.
And it's more than a quarter.
So touching on that, and how everything in console gaming, PC gaming, streaming gaming, has changed over the past few decades. Carah shared an interesting article about Dreamcast and Xbox prototypes. Basically, a company, and they're not the only company, they've created these prototype Dreamcasts and Xbox, and there's games on there from the original Xbox, the original Dreamcast, sort of like when you could go to Walmart and Target and you can buy a Sega and it comes with like 200 games and it's kind of like retro style. Sort of the same thing, only it's from a third party and they did it themselves. It's not something you can go to the store and buy. You can get them on eBay, maybe Amazon. I know they only make a few hundred of them at a time, but this isn't the first time I've heard of this. Selling prototypes, making prototypes has become a more popular thing over the past few years. And it's interesting because when, like, take me for instance, there are quite a few games from the PlayStation 1 that I really wish I could play, but I don't have a PlayStation 1, and the PlayStation Store stopped selling them when they left the PlayStation 3 and went into the PlayStation 4. The Legend of the Dragoon was a big one for me. I absolutely loved that game, but there's no way for me to play it unless I were to buy the system and then buy the disc. And even then, I'd have to, get an HDMI situation set up and stuff, because televisions, TVs, they have different inputs and outputs. So, what do you guys think? And also touching, remember yesterday we talked about Nintendo, and they're going to start coming out N64 games. So
bringing back their,
what do you guys think the future is here? What might change with what older games are going to be available to us in the near future from these different platforms? And do you think prototypes that are being made and sold on online might impact that possibility of happening?
I think the prototypes honestly are a way of keeping the gaming history alive, to prevent it from being buried, to prevent the bigger industries from burying what gaming was, where it came from, its roots. Because we all know that these big investors, big business, want gaming to, at some ridiculous accelerated rate, go full digital. That's what they're pushing for. They're trying to speed it up. And then these, third-party companies creating these retro things is kind of us saying, no, this is where gaming came from. This is its origins. And this is what your gamers want. Because a lot of the gamers are us and older. We're the generations that brought in gaming. We know what it was. We know what it could and I guess you could say should be. So ticking us off is not the brightest of ideas. So I think they're going to keep, even if it's us or the, certain companies, I think they'll still keep the retro games around for several reasons. To this day, there's a lot of those games that just have not been outdone in terms of popularity, even with modern titles. The outcry for them has only increased over the years. I mean, look at Nintendo. As soon as they made the Nintendo Switch Online and said we're bringing, Nintendo classics, everyone was like, Nintendo 64. They have a whole library of things to prove from, but all everyone wanted was Nintendo 64. That's retro. That's before, this new generation was even born. But the outcry was so loud that Nintendo has finally caved, and they've steadily re-released those classic games, and then they became top sellers. So there's no way they can just, I guess you could say, abandon that, because that would just upset gaming as a whole.
So do you think going into I think Nintendo has a better chance of getting away with this, honestly, with the Switch and just the culture of Nintendo and what they have going for them. Do you think we're going to start seeing more tier 1, tier 2 situations where you can choose whether or not you want to have access to older games from older systems of that console?
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's probably unavoidable.
And I'm split both sides. I think it's super awesome if that was a thing. I would love to have access to a lot of my older games, but I absolutely see where you're coming from, and I do agree with that. Carah, what are your thoughts?
As someone who, like, I grew up, we had the Nintendo 64 when I was a kid. I didn't get to play very much. I played like 2 or 3 games because it was in my brother's room, so I didn't get to play it that often. So the whole retro gaming console to me is not that big. Like, I actually more or less wish they would maybe do or try and do something more like an emulator for the games.
Well, and I know that's what these prototypes basically are. They're emulators, and that's the little Segas you can go buy now at the store are also emulators.
Yeah, I wish that it was just more like that. Like, I don't need a whole, I don't need to go out and buy a console. I could do it on my computer.
You'd rather just be able to do it on your computer, like something offered to us through these companies to just do it on our computer. Maybe for people, controller. Yeah, maybe for people who aren't PC gamers, can just do it from their do it from their console.
That's just me. I mean, I don't need the nostalgia of having the console because I never had one. So for me, it's just more or less, it'd be nice. It would be cool to play some of those games. I mean, I don't think the ones that they've said in the article, I don't think I played any of them because the Tony Hawk Pro Skater I played. I mean, when I legitimately played GoldenEye 007 and Pokemon Stadium. Classics. Those were like the 2 games that we played. And my brother would always get mad at me because I would beat him in GoldenEye.
Oof. Now, and it's interesting you say this because there's a console that's supposed to be coming out next year called the Amiga. I think I'm saying that right. AMIGA. I'm going to say Amiga. That just sounds better than Amiga. 500 Mini. And it's going to include a lot of classic games on there. I don't know all the specifics of it, but I know they're going to include some popular ones. A lot of them just kind of like games like Worms and like games you'd find in an arcade.
Yeah.
See, that's proof that they know that's a golden era of gaming.
And it's popular with every generation.
Yeah. They want the reception of the golden era, but they want to attach a huge price tag to it.
And, of course. It's interesting you say that. When I was at the Dallas Fan Expo Saturday, the North Texas version of basically a Comic-Con, I didn't get to meet Chris Sabat, but I did get to stare at him for 10 seconds from across the room. Like, I see you. That was just very like, they had towards the end, our group found a section where they're selling old school like games from Nintendo, Sega, Atari, and some of them were open. Most of them were open. Some of them weren't. And dude, even the ones that weren't open, they wanted dollars for those things.
Say, those things got to be a pretty
tens of dollars to some. Because I was really looking. I was like looking for the price tags, and I found a few games in there that were a couple $100s, and I was like, dang, man. And then it's like, what good is this if you don't currently have that system for it to go with? And then you look over at the system and you're like, huh.
Collection to sell it back later.
Yeah.
That's what one guy did. He just collected the games.
Yeah. And I'm not bashing on that at all. That's just like the average Joe walking around. Like, obviously we're not going to probably spend a lot. I wish I could. I would if I could.
Shoot, Zelda Ocarina of Time still sells for $60 out of the box.
And then these dudes had one PS5 for sale, as if they were laughing in our face, like, you can't buy these anywhere else, but you can here for $800.
Oh, that's gross.
And I'm just sitting here like, whose idea was this?
Oh, that's gross.
One PS5 just chilling.
Someone who knows this. And then one person.
And someone bought it.
Oh no! I overheard one of the people working behind the table tell their like coworker, "Hey, we sold that PlayStation 5 earlier today. I can't believe somebody bought it." And I'm just like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If I had a little extra fuck you money, and
That's a lot of extra fuck you money.
It's a lot of extra fuck you money. Because how much does a regular PS5 go now if you can find one?
$400
for the correct price, not for a scalper. How much?
$400.
About $400. So this was pretty much double the price. I'm not going to pretend if I didn't have extra, fuck you money that I wouldn't have bought it. Somebody did. Somebody did. But the fact that someone capitalized off that at a freaking Comic-Con, I was like,
business. They knew there was a demand.
Dude, a part of me wanted to walk around that whole day on behalf of the GZ Chop Shop podcast with a little TikTok mic and a camera and go, so tell me your feelings about it.
I'm going to tell you what they did, and it's probably a smart thing that they did. That PS5 probably was the only PS5 they had, right? They probably have a buddy who can tell them when the new stocks come in. So they probably got another PS5 locked down. They sold their one PS5 for the price of two. Now they went and they bought themselves one to keep and another one to sell. Now they're going to go back and they're going to sell that second one.
It's possible.
And then they're going to make another amount for two PS5s.
If said buyer already had those connections and was already thinking that way, which is a smart way to think, if you're up to date with what currently goes on with all the scalping and crypto mining, and it's not a bad move. And speaking of overpriced systems, Halo Infinity is coming out in December.
Oh, they're still working on that?
They're still working on that. Turns out the graphics weren't up to par, and then they after the reviews came out. And I'm not a fan. You guys know more than anything, I love Halo. I've read a lot of the books. I'm super nerdy about Halo, but I've been a little disappointed with the gaming franchise. Otherwise, and in December they're selling the console, the Halo console, and I think it's going for $599 if I'm not mistaken, which is
gross. About
$150 or so over the normal price, $100, $150 over the normal price. Which, if you're a collector, it's not a bad idea. Considering
nobody's going to probably buy your Xbox years from now because no one's going to care about the brick.
No one's going to care about the brick. Their sales have been hurting. Even obviously between Xbox and PlayStation, only one of them has a problem with keeping up with supply. Scalpers are not, and apparently scalpers aren't too interested in the freaking Xbox to begin with. Was it proof is in the pudding there, right?
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding.
But I saw the new trailer for Halo. I say new. I don't know how long it's been out, but it's the one where the kid is caught in the battleground and a bunch of Spartans are coming down and fighting off the enemy. And then it switches the scene over to like a staff sergeant or someone in charge of a platoon giving the lecture. And I think of the staff sergeant from the original Halos, and when he had something to say, you listened. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, come on, Marines, it's time to kick some ass. Like, you were just like, you're like, let's go. And when this chick was talking, she was just like, I didn't hear you the first time. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. All right. And I'm just like, what? Like, I got no chills. I got no let's go vibe. I got no nostalgic Halo feelings from it. So
Halo's joined the category of trying too hard.
Yeah, and I do look forward to playing the game because I do love Halo. So obviously I'm going to get it on the PC. I'm going to play it. So I hope it's not a letdown.
Well, let me know.
And if it is, I showed you a free knockoff.
You did show us a free knockoff.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. What? What's next? What's next? Is it time for Carah's Corner?
It is time for Carah's Corner.
There is another dimension beyond that which is known to gamers. It is a dimension as vast as open world RPGs and as timeless as the branch you should have spec'd in but didn't. It is the middle ground between console and PC, between sweats and casual players, and it lies between the pit of the time you raged and broke your controller or simply deleted the game. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Gamma Zone.
To this day, I'm still proud of that.
One thing I've never heard, maybe it's out there, is a death metal version of the Twilight Zone theme song.
What?
There's probably a YouTube fan version. Just look up Twilight Zone theme.
Like,
remix.
I want them to be saying the words, like they would be
words.
just saying the word. No, just saying the words. No big deal through the mic, and then you just like. Does
anyone else think that when we're not talking, Warner's is just in his studio apartment, in his boxers, sliding to the most rock metal music he can find, and then just like, again, when he comes in, he's like super motivated in the chat. That's what I'm picturing. I'm like, oh, he must be listening to his metal right now. He's super motivated.
Maybe I will get back in the dating game, and I'll make a dating profile, and that'll be my profile pic. Me in boxers with a guitar, because you can put like I think some of them you can put like clips, like a little 10-second clip or something of yourself with sound, and it'll just be like just jamming out.
Do you see what you did, Itachi? Do you see what you did?
I'm like, this is idea breeder.
This is enough for Carah's Corner of Weird. It's done.
It already got weird.
Weird enough. Anywho, the first one that I want to talk about, I don't know. I saw it. There's not much to it. We don't know anything. It's just one of those stories, and I just makes me question. A nun caught dancing with skeleton next to graveyard. Yes. That.
Can you read the article a little bit?
I can. It's not
visual. I need a visual. Is this a real skeleton?
It does not look like it. I can say that they don't know if this is real. They don't know if this is a stunt. They don't know if this is, no, something that just happened. It is.
What state was this again?
Wait, was she a real nun though, or she just found a nun costume for some kinky play? And
I don't know. It's I don't know where it is. Old Hun General Cemetery.
Oh, it doesn't give like a state or nothing.
So there are some things that you never expect to see, and one of them is a nun cavorting with a skeleton beside a graveyard.
Who let her out of the monastery? First of all.
That's exactly the sight that emerged outside Old Hull General Cemetery on Saturday. A woman dressed as a nun was pictured dancing with a prop human skeleton before playing with another that looked like a dog. One baffled witness said literally she was stood at the cemetery on Springbank West opposite the turn off of Heimer's school. She was dancing with a skeleton.
You know what?
Wait, what's the name of the cemetery?
Hull General Cemetery, Hull. Hull.
You know what? Sounds like she was having probably a midlife crisis. She needed some moments of popularity. And here we are.
So Hull Cemetery is in Indiana.
Well, there you go.
I was automatically blaming Florida, but it was in Indiana.
But yeah, that one, it didn't have much to it. We don't know much about it. I just was like, why?
It's funny and at the same time creepy. And it's probably creepy to me because I have this odd habit where when I'm working, don't ask me why I do this. It's just become a habit now. You
dance with skeletons?
Absolutely not. But I will play like top 10 scary videos or top 20 scary videos in the background on YouTube while I'm working.
Oh, I went through I still do it every now and then, like the abandoned houses exploring, the paranormal stories, the murder case mystery.
Yeah, I'll play those things in the background. For some reason, her dancing with the skeleton makes me think maybe she's done that one too many times and then just decided to,
like she got caught.
That time.
Was this at daytime or nighttime?
No, it was during the day. It was like
that was
noon.
A dare.
The cemetery hasn't been used in a long
That's
time.
Even more foreboding.
Say in almost half a century.
It's even more creepy.
Like used like no
it has been out of use for almost half a century. It's become one of Hull's most historic sites after closing in 1972.
How do they close something? Like who's to say there's not any family members around who truly want to go pay respects to?
I mean, they probably can, but they're not burying anybody.
Yeah, they're not making fresh burials.
I mean, that's what I would assume. But no, they can probably still go visit. They're
cemeteries
just not
closed.
burying.
That's why, that was new to me. I didn't know cemeteries
hours.
closed.
Like you can only visit the cemetery between.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Neither did I. I learned something. I didn't know cemeteries close. I didn't know like, well, I'm thinking close like shut down.
Yeah, no. It's like this one shut down.
I didn't know cemeteries could
like
shut down. Dang, I guess nothing is.
Did they run out of room?
I guess
you can shut down anything.
All right, that's enough dead people here. Let's move 2 miles west.
Okay, so no, people still visit. People often visit to see notable graves, including a memorial for the victims of the 1849.
Does it get to a point where it's like full to capacity? Then they have to like.
I mean, I assume so. I assume that you can only bury so many people.
I just want to be cremated. Honestly, I'm fine with being dumped in the ocean. I mean, what good am I? Like, even the cremating me costs money, and then you have to put me in an item.
Yeah.
Like, why can't it be acceptable in society to go, Daniel died. All right, we will take him to a large body of water and drop him off, and nature will do the rest. I'm going to stop you there.
The reason for that is because unlike fish, your body has a whole bunch of toxins and stuff. And we know big government or whatever, or whoever's paid to dump said body is not going to find a large body of water with a very deep drop. You're going to wind up in some ravine somewhere that's a water source for some small town elsewhere. So when you start decomposing, and this has been proven because there was that case where the woman was missing and the person who murdered her dumped her in the water tank that was being used by an apartment building. And she started decomposing. And everyone got sick.
So what I'm hearing is no matter how hard any of y'all try out there, you're toxic.
You're toxic till the day your body
finally disappears from this planet in full.
So yeah.
I don't like toxic people. You're made of toxicity. You don't even know.
I'm pretty sure that had been a conversation. Like, why can't we just put them in the? Because first of all, someone somewhere is going to use that water for drinking. Second of all, you got to think even if the fish eat you, they're eating whatever you left off. Then people go fish those fish, eat those fish, and come on, it's a bad idea.
That'll be fine.
That's why they burn us or bury us.
So with that said, the water pipeline system, like, does it avoid cemeteries? Does it go around the cemetery?
I've never seen a cemetery near a body of water.
The only thing is they still have sprinkler systems.
Have you ever seen a water fountain at a cemetery?
No.
I bet you're gonna look now.
Well, I don't. When I go to a cemetery, for some reason, I don't think I've ever been thirsty to think, man, I hope they got a water fountain. I don't even think I've seen a bathroom, at least not in the heart of a cemetery. On the outskirts is probably one thing, but never in the heart of a cemetery.
Like in the building.
Interesting. Things I've just never thought of till now. Like, is there a bathroom at cemeteries?
You're welcome.
There you go.
Are there water fountains at cemeteries? What if you get thirsty while you are grieving?
So probably what I would assume not out like in the actual graveyard, but like obviously at the building there is.
Yeah, for the actual building and work, and the piping is probably run in a specific manner that doesn't cut through the cemetery.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Because I live near a cemetery.
Look at us. Spooky.
Yeah, tell me about it. When I was a kid, it was literally like 2 blocks away.
Do you have ghosts?
Hey, I'm just asking the questions, Do you
have ghosts in your house?
No, there aren't ghosts in black neighborhoods.
Can apartment buildings be haunted? And if they are haunted, do they haunt everybody in the apartment building? Or is it just like a couple of, do they just get attached to like one person in a specific housing area? Like one room?
You
can thank Bird for that one. I learned that one from Bird. And I just does.
Warder, she said she wanted to see me cry. You wanted me to laugh so hard I cried.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
I just want to know the rules of haunting. That's all.
Oh my god!
I need a Beetlejuice figure to.
Well, I used to have one.
A ghost or a Beetlejuice?
I didn't live in a black neighborhood. In our old house. So that's a different story.
What neighborhood did you say?
What a time she said.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's true.
What you think? Exactly what you think. I'm telling you. That's why.
So you lived in an apartment building that you felt like it was haunted?
Oh.
There aren't ghosts in black neighborhoods.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Me? My old house. The house that we moved to here?
Oh, yeah. I knew about your old house. I thought you were saying like you lived in an apartment building. So since you've been in this house, you haven't noticed anything the same.
He wants to know if there's a ghost in an apartment building. Does it haunt everyone or just latch on to a specific person?
Here's the thing. If no matter how much work I do on myself, I'm still ultimately toxic until I die because my body rots and still decays the earth and poisons everything. I might as well have a toxic relationship with the undead.
Guys, I just want you all to know,
I'm kind of lonely.
Think you're toxic. Okay, part of that was a lie.
All right, Carah, what's the next piece of news?
So it kind of works. We're with technology again. So I don't know. The story is in another country, I believe. Man somehow swallows entire phone, and then doctors need to remove it.
Okay, someone watched The Dark Knight and took it quite literally.
So I would love to know how, because it's a smaller phone.
I was gonna say, was it a Nokia?
Yes. Yes.
Like a flip phone Nokia? Like
the brick.
No, not
so no
rounded ones.
No roundedness. Okay.
The brick. So it does not tell me why. Does not tell me how. Just some man helped the unidentified 33-year-old man after a phone had become lodged in his stomach.
He's got some deep throating skills that put a lot of ladies to shame.
I guess so. Wow. I mean, like, there's X-ray photos. You can see the
what could possess somebody?
Can you screen share this?
Can I share?
Yeah, you should be able to share.
The where's
what would possess?
There's lots of ads all over the screen.
That's okay.
There's no way he doesn't have some kind of poisoning after that.
Oh my god! So that's like the old school, like plastic
school
buttons,
and that that gunk is from inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was that piece was that lithium battery do not swallow instruction in the phone that he swallowed?
Probably.
If you wanted proof, warners about being toxic. If you wanted proof, there you go.
They did an endoscopy on him to get it out.
Yep. So,
do you want to bury these people in the water, warners? You want to bury these people in the water?
I guess not.
With their Nokia phones.
Like, you can look, they have photo of the phone in his stomach.
That is this. Did they figure out why he thought this?
It has. There's a video, but I haven't watched it. I don't know if I want to watch it.
As soon as that man woke up, as his nurse had been like, "Sir,
no, it doesn't say
you are not a shark.
You are not a shark." There's only like.
Can you click on that X-ray?
This is. Wow.
No, it doesn't let me get it bigger.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Wow.
That is wild. That's definitely like a late 90s Nokia phone.
Oh yeah.
I can think of several situations where this man had a reason to swallow his phone.
If you break up with me,
that was one of the situations. It's like, the wife found out you were up to no good and was like, swallow it. And had to.
Like, what makes me more
to swallow it?
confused
How much do you love me?
is like, that's an old phone. That is an old phone.
They're old for us.
Why that
but in
phone?
a lot of these other countries, that's what they've got.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they've got. That's their most modern phone. Heck, even Australia is like, in terms of music, they're usually like a year behind us.
I mean, okay, so I mean, these phones were announced in 2000. So
hey, they don't need the shiny; they just need functional and super. That just proves how durable those Nokia phones are too.
They got fed up with those text message charges.
It had been in his stomach for 4 days.
That just literally proves how durable those things are. They were indestructible by stomach acid.
I bet you could still put it back together and it would still work.
I mean, I wouldn't for, health purposes.
So I got
probably
some
would.
kind of weird news. I don't.
But I'm sure it could.
I don't know like what you guys would think of this, but I don't know if you guys knew this, but I'm pretty. In the past, I've been kind of vocal about it on social media that I have a telescope, and I like to take pictures of planets and stuff. I think I did share stuff like that in Discord. Back before I sold my home, I was in that home for about 6.5 years, and I had a hammock in the back. I was right at the edge of the city limit. So the light pollution was there, but it wasn't so bad that I could still see a lot of stuff. I could still see very certain planets and stuff like that. The visibility wasn't terrible. And I used to lay on my hammock and I'd lay out there, and sometimes, till like 1 or 2 in the morning, just watching for meteors, because you will see them. It doesn't have to be a shower if you just see them. If you hang out long enough, you'll see a few here and there eventually. And I would just look at the sky, and I'd have my binoculars with me, my I almost said stethoscope, my telescope. I had to hear the universe. I wanted to hear it. And I would just let my eyes wander. I wouldn't try to focus on anything. And you would see all kinds of cool stuff. You go, oh, that's a satellite. I can tell because it's real distant, but there's light blinking. You can use your binoculars to kind of tell. Definitely you would see planes and stuff sometimes, but there was a few times I saw, it would always be like this kind of white, just like a white dot. And it would be, it was glowing, like it was imitating light or emanating light, but it wasn't like pulsating. It was just like you could just kind of see a glow from it, but it was very distant. I could attribute it to the size of some of the stars I was seeing as far as distance. And I would see it going in one direction, and I'd be staring at it, and then it would just immediately change, like a straight 90-degree angle change, and then change, and then it would go away. And I've seen this stuff quite a few times, and I know stars well enough. I know I understand what I'm looking at, and I can never explain that. And it was always so bizarre to me. That, or we've had the Space Force a lot longer than we thought.
Maybe not.
I still don't like
maybe
the name.
Not us, but something out there's had a Space Force.
It's something out there, and I 100% believe something is out there. It can't just be us. That'd be wild in my mind, understanding how big the universe is.
Maybe you were seeing a chain of events that happened thousands of years ago that just finally reached us.
Oh, really? Something happened and then took off in perfect angle turns and then disappeared?
Hey, you never know. There's so much we don't understand that honestly, a lot of the stuff is just still our hypothesis on things. Until we send something out there or something finally deems us worthy to visit, who knows?
The world.
You might have seen a space gate open. Just saying. You never know.
A space gate.
It was a 90-degree angle.
A space gate.
It was a 90-degree.
A Stargate.
Space gate. I don't want to say Stargate because then,
Split gate.
They coined that already.
I don't care. Space gate. What are you the government? The space gate is being utilized by the Space Force.
How upset would you be if we got to that point 30 years from now and you heard, and now, due to our actions of our space gate, I'm going to call you.
I'd be mad.
I'm going to call you.
As rightfully so, all of the Star Trek fans and science fiction fans would be upset.
I'm going to call you.
It is a Stargate. And
I'm going to call you and be like, I knew they were going to do it. And I am a fan of this. I am a Trekkie. I love Star Wars. I'm okay with Stargate. I watched Babylon 5. I've watched some sci-fi. I watched the new Battlestar, was new, now old, Battlestar Galactica. I'm all about it, but I just know how our government is. They're so basic and so simple. It's going to be a space gate. And that is that. We all wanted to be a Stargate. They won't give it to us, okay? Come on. Our name was Space Force.
it'll be several names, and then they'll just say, but it's what we call it, and it's like the acronym, and the acronym's Cosmos.
Yeah. Because we could have been the Star
Like-
Force, traveling among the stars. Starfleet. No, we're the Space Force.
Starfleet would have been a little cooler.
We know that. Stargate would be cooler, but come on. They've already proven it's going to be the Space Gate. You're welcome. Heard it here first. And I think that's a good stop point as any. Carah's like, oh boy. Just
I'm ready for this nerd out. Come on.
But yeah, as always, we appreciate all of you guys coming through, hanging out. If you were Patreon and you were tuning in, joining us live, thank you so much. If you guys want to catch this episode as they're recorded, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Gamut Games. Join, and then you guys can tune in and watch these podcasts live as they are happening. Anyway, you guys have been amazing. Stay safe out there. Look after each other. We will catch all of you wonderful people on the next episode. Later, everyone.